Hello, everyone. Just getting this posted in a couple of the groups real quick. I don't typically live stream it. I typically kind of just record it and fix it up a little bit and then send it out. So bear with me while I get this link posted everywhere. And there you go. So welcome everyone back to the channel. I'm going to make sure we posted this in every single possible site. Gosh, that's a lot of sites. We really need some of those nifty little if this then that statements that posted everywhere. Okay, got it. In theory. Okay. Welcome everyone and back to the channel. Let's see if I can't get my English right for a couple of minutes at a time, of course. You know, obviously we have to start with our disclaimer that says nothing we discuss on this call is financial, legal, or investing advice. You guys are in charge of you. I'm just here to come along with this journey with you. Hopefully get the chance to kind of help make a difference, make an impact, show that trading is as easy as you make it. And I promise you, it is 99% about the management and your ability to lot size and way less about the strategy. Almost anybody can make money in these markets if you're willing to kind of get down to business, get serious with the nitty gritty and the nuanced stuff like lot sizes, like risk management, like, you know, the stuff that goes into that, not necessarily, hey, what's the newest strategy? Hey, what's the newest thing I can do? So there's your disclaimer. I went ahead and started with this today because I'm going to show the little spreadsheet saying this is how many pips from the last call we had on, October 4th. We're doing this about every other Tuesday. So the first and third Tuesday of the month, I'm coming live. I spend typically about 20 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes of prep time, and that's it. So of those 386 pips, I think 3 won, 1 did not enter, and 1 hit a pretty sizable loss. That was Australian US dollar, which we'll go take a look at here in a second. The thing I want to start talking about a lot more is pretty simple, that choosing your lot size is based off of the percentage of risk or reward, and managing it according to that instead of something like a flat lot size is going to be a much more duplicatable approach and the best way to help compound your account. So we use numbers like this because, well, you know, it helps the YouTube and all that good jazz saying, hey, here's a standard lot size. Let's make this mathematically make sense approximately, knowing that not each pair is worth, you know, the same kind of thing. They're not all worth $10, but at least gives us an idea, a discussion point, a starting point. Obviously, we know that if somebody used 5 standard lot sizes, this same 20 minutes is worth $20,000 or 19,000, sorry, and et cetera, so forth. So if somebody used a 0.01, this same, you know, $3,000 is worth, you know, $38, $380 kind of concept. And it goes on and on. So the sky is the limit. It just comes down to your skill set, your management, your ability to lot and manage your leverage and all that other good stuff, your margin. So with that said, I'm going to stop this share. Let's see if this is going to let me, how many times is going to let me share all my stuff? Bear with me. Okay, got it. So next share is, this is our simplicity. We started this recently. In general, I do this kind of stuff for the live classes that we do in the mornings. But I'm trying to find a way to do this all above board for all the regulations and licensing stuff without getting into any trouble there, and just saying, hey, let's take a look at what this is doing week after week publicly. Let's look at the good, the bad, and the ugly and go from there. So on the 4th, which was 2 weeks ago today, approximately the 6 o'clock candle, we looked at these, 5 pairs, and we'll go take a look at them now to prove, did this do what we said? Did this behave in the way we said? And of course, our management is all spelled out. It's already defined. It's not subjective. I mean, this is not something that, oh, we're changing the rules every 2 weeks and this is different. This is something that in theory, you can paper trade, you can learn this right alongside me, cost you absolutely nothing. Just get comfortable in the market. You can pick any of those brokers. They're all in the link tree. If you're not familiar, go to the description. There's a link tree with all those plenty of different brokers that I use. Sign up for a demo account and just start to practice. Come along with me on this journey in the next year and let's see how this, you know, pans out. No promises, no guarantees. Let's just learn and grow together. So with that said, so far we're up 1,400 pips. Remember, this is not indices. They're not going to move as many. Also, this is a lot more swing trading. So your full losses are full. We know that we're protecting within 50 pips. We're taking it upon conditions and all using the system called Simplicity from Super EZ. Is it the world's best system? No. Is it the world's worst system? No. But every darn YouTube out there is saying, this is the most bestest, amazing, coolest strategy ever. This is the one that's going to give you all the, you know, all the best one in the world. And that's just simply not the case. The best strategies in the world are the ones that you can manage favorably for your account size, for your mental and emotional capacity, and can do it over and over again in a duplicatable way. So of those trades, let's see if I can not mess that up for a second. Odd USD, we were in from that morning, so we got some of those, but of course it barely activated and then kicked back down. We'll go discuss where that stop loss was, again, which is already predefined. This is the overextended. You probably lost anywhere from 111 to 130-ish pips. I'm overballing it just to kind of be gentle, underballing the wins, overballing the losses, just to show you this is all very, very possible and practical. So NZD/USD also ended up making a lower low, but we also know we're always, always, always protecting within 50 pips and or one ATR, one ADR, half of an ADR based off of your duplicatable, consistent rules. USD/JPY, thank God, did not activate. Holy cow, did that continue to make astronomically continuing higher highs. That pair is the anomaly, although that seems to be the word of the day, but that pair seems to just be having a mind of its own. So no entry here, no win, no loss. And of course, there's still some more room on Chef JPY. NZD/JPY played out well. And these are the pairs that I'm looking at for today. So before we even go into those, please notice there's quite a few USD pairs. You can't be in all of them. Please notice there's quite a few GBP pairs. You can't be in all of them. So pick the couple, have a system in place that says, hey, once this is up and or protected, I'll take another USD pair. Or hey, I can be in 2 USD pairs at a time if they're not protected. And that's it. That's going to be based off of your own lot sizes, your own what percentage you're risking, how big your account is, and about a billion other factors. But one method you can consider using is, hey, I'll be in 2 USD pairs at a time until they're protected. Then I'll add another one. If they're not protected, you can't add another one. Same thing with all the GBP pairs. So overall, 383 pips, not 86. Sorry, that's my mistake. For the last week, well, that's again 20 minutes for 380 pips. That's worth anywhere from hundreds of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars based off of how you're trading. And again, the whole point of this is not to prove perfection, it's to prove math. It's to prove profitability. It's to prove possibility, not perfection. So that's all I've got here. I'm going to hit stop share. Let's see. I'm not going to be able to, hey, Tommy, I'm not going to be able to see this side of my VPS. So everything else is just going to have to be on the, how do you call it? The VPS. So if you're making a comment on YouTube, I'm sorry, I cannot see it. But here we go. Let's take a look real quick. I'll scoot this in and we'll take a quick look. So this is the broker we use for classes. We already all know that. Pretty simple, easy enough to kind of understand. Same thing that we've been looking at for quite a while. So the purple ones are the ones we need to review from last week. And then of course, I've got quite a few other ones on our watch list as well, which I've been making aqua based off of every other week. So that's kind of how our setup is currently. I'll end Australian US dollar because, well, that's still got a trade idea. Starting with purple, here's where we're at. We were looking for this to buy. Here's where we were at. We had our nice, beautiful buy signal. We wanted to take the break out of this area. We did get our 75-ish, 77-ish pips, but it came down and retested this low. Did it break this low? No. Could we technically say, hey, this is still within reason according to the rules? Yes. But since we're using a set number of fractals as a stop loss, we can't count that. So we can just say, hey, here's where we're at. This is how much we got, made a lower low. Some of you guys might have caught this as well, which is worth a small fortune, right? Not a bad way to be at all. That's 300 pips all by itself. But that's not where we were at. We were here when we analyzed it. So we can only go off of where we were when we analyzed it. So where we analyzed this is worth, give or take 130, 120-ish pips. Not a bad way to be. I'm going to hit O, remove all of those objects, and hit W, take it off of our watch list. So that's done now. We have seen what we looked at that day and how it's performed since that day, right? Next on our list is USD JPY. Holy cow. Here's where we're at. You can see we never came down to make a lower low. So we never got in to take a loss, which is awesome and beautiful. But oh my goodness, this pair just, it's not ending. It's going nowhere. Well, it's going somewhere to the moon, but it's definitely not coming down anytime soon. So W, let's take that off of our watch list also. No win, no loss. Not a bad way to be. Of course, this happened after we analyzed it. So it would have been great to catch it, but I wasn't present for that. And that wasn't part of this analysis. So some of you guys might have caught this move, which again has an enormous value. That's a lot of pips right there. That's 400 some odd pips, not a lot of drawdown. Not all entries are that perfect, but this one happens to be, right? The market's been performing pretty darn well, actually. And this week too looks to be pretty good. But no win or loss there. Here's where we're at for Chef JPY. Let's take a look. We know we looked on 10-4, which is 10-5 chart time. So in around here, right, this is where we were looking. We wicked up to activate. We failed to make a lower low. And from where we entered to where we're currently at, oopsie, stay still. You guys get the point. We're up about 200, 300-ish pips, right? My mouse would quit being silly. Not a bad way to be. If I popped up a time frame, you would see we've got a little bit more room to spike up before we get any look for a retracement. But still, overall, I'm done with this trade. That's done. We're taking it off of our watch list. I'm not tracking or trading this anymore. So this is officially closed on my account. NZD-USD is last. Let's go back down to the 1 hour because we're always using the 1 hour, again, for the sake of duplication, for the sake of being able to say, this is exactly what we did and exactly how we did it. Let's show you that it's possible. Let's show you that it's real. Here's where we were at. Again, we failed to make a lower low. We did spike up just enough. We got that 100-ish, that 70-ish pips on this pair. That wick is somewhere in this range. Not a bad way to be. Not as great as we wanted it. Of course, we came down, made another low, came down, and we're looking at a double bottom right now. Potentially, we can be looking for that buy. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off of our watch list also. Remove all those drawn objects and take it off. So the purpose of, whoops, I probably should close that and that. I will get all this. Live on YouTube is always awesome. Always. Can't undo anything. Making sure that NZD-USD is on the list because I thought it was. There we go. There we go. Got it. So last thing that we want to look at was our other trade that this was our loss for last week, which is here. Here's where we analyze this pair. This does make, we do break out. That's part of the rules. It's defined. It's duplicatable. What happens? It pops down right here before this happens, but still we did not make a lower low. So this is still counting as an entry for me. I want to be authentic and I want to be genuine. And I want to say this is, as real as we can be. We did not make a lower low, making this trade idea still valid. What happened after we barely wicked that entry open? We tanked. So this is a fair and square loss. Again, using structure, here's where we're at. A couple of candles from where we entered, which would have been here, all the way down into this range. So regardless of where that stop loss was, that's a pretty sizable hit. I get that. But as you can see, overall, even with only 3-4 entries, you're still net positive. You're net profitable overall. So not bad. But that concludes all of the reviews from, 2 weeks ago. Today, now being the 18th, let's take a look. Australian US dollar is first on the list. We have, of course, our buy from Simplicity. We've popped above. We made a lower low, but failed to continue to make another low. We've come back into range, and now we're sitting here. So same kind of concept, duplicatable every single week. Let me hit O to remove that, get that off of our list. We know what we're looking for. We're saying, hey, at the break of this fractal, let's see if I can't color this the proper way. Let's make it green for buy, because that will at least save, and dotted for pending. The break of this fractal, we're looking to see this come up and give us that buy. This has a boatload, sorry for the mouse issues, a boatload of room. Come on. Gotcha. I'll zoom out so we can see the clearer picture. I'm, for right now, looking for it to come into this range. Beyond that, how long and if this will play out, I want to see a reaction. And if we get the reaction in the follow through, reaction down, we want the retest. Of course, we can continue the downside, but if we don't and we continue, we've got a hefty amount of room, a lot of pips in this pair, all the way over here. Not a bad way to be. Great overall risk and reward, great and overall potential trade setup, but we are waiting. We're not going to take this just for the sake of entering. If you enter it now, of course, your entry is going to be a little bit tighter, but overall, we want the confirmation. I want the confirmation most accurately. So that's Australian US dollar. Next on our list is NZD USD. We have our buy. Of course, we did paint to sell, and it, of course, did delete. So here's where we're at, same kind of concept. If I zoom out and make this very ugly, we can't see the candles, but we know we have a double bottom. So even just measured move on this double bottom, what is that, 140-ish pips? That's going to bring us up into this range. Not a bad way to be at all. Great potential risk to reward. Overall, great setup. Same kind of concept. I'm going to zoom in, and that's on the low end. We're going to do this in a way that's duplicatable and consistent time after time. We're saying, hey, after the break of this area, because this is a retest area all by itself, and we've already rejected off of that. So we came back down, retested. If this wasn't a live YouTube that we were trying to go for duplication, I wouldn't mind taking this entry now. But since we're looking for long-term duplication, we of course want to take this as consistent as possible, which means I need something definable that we can track in the future and in hindsight. So for that reason, we're taking at the break of this fractal. That's also on our watch list. Remember, you can't take every single USD pair. There's simply too many. So you have to decide between the 1, 2 USD chef is on our list. And of course, silver is on our list. So that's too many to consider. Please only be in 1 to 2 at a time. Don't over leverage based off of the currency, because that's a recipe all by itself for disaster. That's next on our list. Of course, if I zoom this out or pop up a time frame a little cleaner, my target is going to be way, way up here. We know we're going to get some retests in that area. That's fine. But I'm looking to bring this into this range. Not bad at all. Plenty of risk and reward. Great overall trade idea. Waiting for the breakout, the retest, and the continuation. So that is NZD-USD. Also notice there's a 4-hour trade idea on that. Not bad. USD chef, we've got our sell idea. This is simplicity. We've got the continuation beyond that, and we're sitting literally at a fractal level. So same kind of concept. We're waiting for the break of this fractal. We've got our simplicity. We know we're managing based off of structure. I'm going to make this red if it will allow me to. Red, of course, keep it dotted, and we know that's pending, saying, hey, we're putting a pending sell at the break of that area. We know we're going to expect a reaction in this range. If we break below that range, we're looking for the break below, the retest, and the continuation, which is going to bring us all the way down into here, making this, again, a great risk to reward trade. Now, I'm not going to mark this up with a bajillion take profits. We know we're always managing in the same way that is consistent time after time. So USD chef, sell potential, wait for the break. This is probably going to activate before we even get off of this YouTube. So that's next on our list. Silver. First, we have to mention that this is an expensive pair to trade. If you have a baby account or low leverage, you probably shouldn't be playing with silver, because this is $50 a pips, whereas most USD pairs are worth $10 a pip. So please, please, please keep that in mind. Notice how it doesn't move a lot of pips. So you're going to want to manage this based off of the ATR more so than, hey, I hit my 50 pips. So for that reason, first things first, we've got our simplicity idea. We're waiting for the continuation, the confirmation of that. So first, I'm going to go ahead and make this green as a pending buy on this, for this example, for this class. And then you would do this on your live brokerage or your paper trading. So at the break of this fractal, I would be looking for this to buy up. We know what that looks like is for this to come into this range. But having said that, we want targets that are going to protect, and 50 pips on this pair might not be the most advantageous. So because of that, I'm going to look to the left and look for where my potential targets are going to be. I'm going to look in this range where prices stopped before. And say in this target range, we're definitely protecting. No matter what, when you get up to this range, you either put a trailing stop on there, you trim some of your position, you apply a trailing stop, you move your stop loss into profit, or you close out some of your trade, you close out your entire trade. But make some decision in this range. And if you want to know why I chose that, we're just literally looking to the left where price has stopped, which is this zone to this zone, which is how I got this line. That's all. Not rocket science, not super, super complicated. That's what I'm looking for on silver. Next is Euro NZD. Gosh, there's a lot of pairs today. Same kind of concept. We've got a sell idea. We are pushing up currently. We've got our impulse. We did come down into that same range. 4-hour time frame has a lot of consolidation and a whole bunch of room to move down. A whole bunch of room. This is a hefty trade with a great stop loss, looking at it from the bigger picture. So even once you get like a 38% retracement on this trade, you still have close to a 4-to-1 risk to reward ratio, give or take. Not a bad way to be. So if I zoom in, scooch the chart over so you can see it, and I can see it too more accurately. Here's our most recent fractal. The next one is way down here. So we're doing something in a duplicatable way, saying it's always the 1 hour, it's always the break of the fractal from the time of the call. We know that. But here's our most recent fractal. We've already broken that technically. So we're sitting at a better area. We, of course, can put our entry way down here, which is a pretty big amount of room. So we're on the same page. Pretty big amount of room. definitely not small, right? That's 100 pips. Or of course, we can put it at the break of this area. So how you guys do it is going to be up to you. I'm going to, my vertical line isn't going to stay if I draw it. This vertical line not going to stay for us to come back in 2 weeks and actually see this area. So I can't prove or disprove this. I mean, it's recorded, but without spending 15 hours going through the recording, I can't come back and prove or disprove this. So I'm not going back to that many recordings and doing all that nonsense, right? So for that reason, here's our red line. Here's our price point. I'll stabilize the line. We know I'm looking for the break past this time frame. So this is the 0 candle. That's the 5 o'clock. This is our 6 o'clock candle right here. The one that we're on currently, that's our 6 o'clock candle, which is our 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock on the chart. 1 o'clock is, if it will give me 1 o'clock. I'm gonna give you guys an idea, but we know this line is not going to stay as I bounce around. It's not going to stay on this system. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. We know what we're looking for at the continuation of, so a little bit different on this one, and I'll have to change that in the notes to say, hey, not the break of the fractal on this one. We want the closest one. That's 100 pips. We're not giving up 100 pips on a pair that moves this much. But again, to zoom out to the higher time frames, make that a little bit ugly. We have a lot of room, a boatload of room. So from where price is currently at, all the way down into this range, that is a lot of pips. I'd be expecting a reaction in around here. I can't use that color. I'm going to have to choose a different color. Magenta is fine. Definitely expect a reaction in around this range. Right here, and we'll make it magenta for a discussion point. Overall, great trade idea, great risk to reward, plenty of room. Not a bad way to be. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so we can see that price point one more time. And that is next on our list. This is the exception, so I will make sure we update that. So Euro NZD right here, instead of it saying sell at fractal. So we're going to say sell at continuation. Pretty sure this is on YouTube. I can never tell. Sometimes it, protects my privacy. Sometimes it doesn't. So who knows? But sell at continuation, not at fractal for Euro NZD. The continuation of that move. Next to GBP odd, notice how all of these GBP pairs are setting up. GBP NZD also setting up. All of these pairs setting up. And if we zoomed out and we looked at them from the 4 hour and the 1 hour, they all have a reasonably substantial amount of room. So again, same disclaimer applies. Don't try to be in all of them. Don't try to chase all of them. They might move at the same time, so you miss some, and they might not. So pick your two that are most either your favorite pairs to trade or the ones that you have the most room for in terms of the value of what they're worth, each pair is worth, or what you're not already in. If you're already in an NZD pair, don't pick another NZD pair. So I can't make that decision for you, but don't be in all of them. That's a recipe for disaster. So GBP odd, same kind of concept. We've got our signal from Simplicity here. We're waiting for the continuation of GBP has a nice pullback, so that makes this a really good entry. Same concept. You can, of course, wait for the break of the fractal. On these GBP pairs, I would say the continuation is much better than the break of the fractal, but I can't control them on all those. So here's our sell. Here's our perforated line. And of course, we're looking for the continuation of. So the continuation of these candles or the break of this fractal, I'm okay. This isn't as big of amount of room as it is on Euro NZD. But totally up to you on how you want to do that. For me and for the purpose of duplication, we're going to wait for the continuation. I'm looking for it to at least come down into this range, and on the bigger time frames, much farther. GBP CAD, beautiful, great potential entry. Sure wish there was a fractal a little bit higher, but there's not. Go figure. This one is kind of the exception too. So here's where we're at for Simplicity. From the second that this Simplicity has painted, we have not got any continuation on any candle that has come after. So we don't even have the continuation yet that solidifies this trade idea. So waiting for the break of this fractal, not a bad way to be. That's confirming that that's right. And if it never activates, you didn't lose anything, but you didn't gain anything, but you also didn't lose anything. So love that in terms of risk and reward. I want this to confirm. I want this to give us the continuation without a shadow of a doubt. My stop loss is going to be above structure. And if I zoom out, this has got a lot of room all the way down even into this range. If we do break this zone, I'm looking for the retest, of course, and then to come down into this range, to this little liquidity void or area of interest, as I call it. Again, great potential setup. Gosh, this is a lot of them. I haven't done this many in a long time. GBP Chef, beautiful. At least we have a little bit of a closer entry here. Same kind of concept, waiting for it to break, form this M. We've got one potential here, one potential here. We break this area. I want the impulse, the retest, and then to come all the way down into my little void, right here into my pocket. That's what I want to see happen. Coming over to where price is currently at. This is all I'm looking for, the continuation of right here. We know what we're looking for is to bring this down into this range. If we do get the continuation beyond that, we're going to get the impulse. We're going to retest into this range somewhere and then continue down. So perfect into that liquidity void right here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. But this is even by itself still makes us a great risk to reward target. Not a bad way to be. I do believe I put GBP NZD on our watch list. I don't know why I added that extra one. We have a bajillion pairs, but clearly I didn't think we had enough. Please don't take all of these. This is too many GBP pairs. This is too many USD pairs. But for the sake of everybody, you guys can pick and choose. You can pick and choose your couple of pairs that you do like. Maybe consider being in only 4 pairs at a time if you're doing 2% risk. If you're doing a whole bunch more percent risk, being in 4 or 5 pairs at a time is far, far too many, in my opinion. But you can decide based off of your leverage, your appetite for risk, and whatever else. So here's where we're at. Current candles. Here's where our fractals, our most recent fractal is at. Obviously can't choose here because it's already happened. So same kind of concept. We're waiting for the continuation. If I pop up to the 4 hour and I pull out, oopsie, can't even see my nice little red line, but it's there. I promise it's under the pink zone. We know we're looking to bring it into this area to fill this void, right where it broke out from. So great risk and reward overall, great potential trade setup. So with that said, that's all I've got for this evening. I know that we're going to have some people come on, put a thumbnail on this and all that good jazz, hopefully, and get it a little bit YouTube friendly. Wanted to make sure we got it out for those of you guys who are trading this alongside of me. Let me see if I can't go to see anything on YouTube. There we go. Hello. I don't know who you are, Galaxy, but hello. Nice to see you on here. Tommy, nice to see you too. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, put that in the chat. Otherwise, I just hope that you guys are hopefully coming along on this journey, taking some of these trades even in demo and just trying it. You have nothing to lose, nothing but a skill set to gain and maybe some time. But most of us are using it on silly things anyway, so you may as well use it on something that could potentially better your life, right? But that's all I've got for tonight. I'm going to go to this nice little park with my munchkins and do some tennis and get all my walk in the nature preserve. It's going to be a great evening. So I hope you guys all have a beautiful, wonderful, wonderful 2 weeks. Happy Halloween, since I won't talk to you before then. And then I will see you guys at the beginning of November. So take care and God bless.